It's the 1,000 Ways to Die Trauma Center. Waiting for treatment, two stooges who go cuckoo with Coco, a supermodel with an appetite for self-destruction, a blue-collar worker who sees nothing but red, and a hot tubber who can't take the heat. The doctor will see you now.
Warning. The deaths portrayed in this show are real and extremely graphic. Names have been changed to protect the identities of the deceased. Do not attempt to try any of the actions depicted. You will die.
Death is everywhere. Most of us try to avoid it. Others can't get out of its way. Every day, we fight a new war against germs, toxins, injury, illness, and catastrophe. There's a lot of ways to wind up dead. The fact that we survive it all is a miracle. Because every day we live, we face 1,000 ways to die. It's not hard to figure out how this guy got his nickname.
The fast lane, you idiot!
Angry Ed.
God!
A low seething boil was his relaxed state. There wasn't much that didn't make Ed see red. At the tool shop where he worked, Ed's anger was a running joke. But to his foreman, the joke had run thin.
You're fired!
I think a person with that much anger sometimes is thinking in terms of spite and revenge and manipulation and how they can get back at those people.
Getting fired turned Ed into a heat-seeking anger missile. His unsuspecting target, the foreman, who was working on a vat of hydrochloric acid. Ed goes hand to hand and winds up taking a bath in a tub of hydrochloric acid.
If someone was to fall in a vat of hydrochloric acid, that person, I'm sure, went through an excruciatingly painful death because he was suffering a total body burn simultaneously.
The acid quickly burns through his skin, fries his eyeballs, and pours into his wide-open mouth. Once inside the body, Ed's major organs are destroyed within seconds.
He probably went to a level of shock, if not just because of the amount of pain he was feeling, but just because of the sheer amount of fluid loss and body damage that he was suffering because of the acid.
This wasn't just Ed's last day of work.
You're fired!
His uncontrollable, blood-boiling rage made sure this was Angry Ed's last day. Period. Nice legs. They've been seen on fashion runways all around the world. The legs belong to Natasha, and Natasha is a supermodel. Right now, Natasha is feeling a little less than super, living out of a suitcase, empty hotel rooms. Her life of glamour is a full-time grind. Worst of all is the constant dieting. In her world, if you're not thin, you're out. What's Natasha's secret? She starves herself. To make matters worse, she's fallen into a pattern of extremely destructive behavior. Bulimia.
Room service?
Yes, room service?
Yes, this is room service. What can we bring you?
Everything.
Bulimia is a neurologic and psychiatric disease. There's a lot of physiologic consequences to doing that.
This has become a common ritual for Natasha. Each time, it's a struggle between love and hate for food. In the end, the compulsion to binge always wins over. By literally stuffing herself with every kind of dish imaginable, Natasha hopes that the empty feeling will go away. Because of her fear of becoming overweight, Natasha's not planning on digesting any of this food.
A regular stomach holds about 30 ounces. At about 120 to 160 ounces, your stomach has reached its maximal capacity, and anything further, it's going to basically explode.
Before Natasha could jam her fingers down her throat to induce vomiting, her pattern of self-abuse came to a sudden end.
You've got all of this food being spilled into the body cavity. All of the bacteria that were in the food are going to start multiplying, and you're going to develop what's called peritonitis. And so a lot of times people have heart attacks or go into kidney failure, which will lead to sepsis and shock and ultimately death.
Natasha made her living off her looks. In the end, she wound up dying for them.
That's hot.
Coming up, a porn addict pops a big one. And
A big needle?
No, very normal size.
what happens when you get a bad batch of Botox? Nothing good. Phil Harden is a stone-cold smut addict. He lives it. He breathes it.
Oh, God.
He reads it. He needs it. Phil's got it made. His no-skills job at the tire shop allows him to work and play at the same time.
What makes somebody a sex addict is what makes somebody a drug addict or an alcoholic addict. They overconsume. It's more important than their family. It's more important than their work. They don't care if it destroys their health. It's all they think about day and night.
Phil thought his porn obsession was harmless. He wasn't hurting anyone. And then one day he sat down with the new issue of Horn Dog and a large truck tire. His foot was up on the air hose, but his mind was still down in the gutter.
Well, I've often said that tires are a ticking time bomb. If you're not paying attention, you're going to have a problem. It could be catastrophic. It could kill you or certainly maim you. Take out an eye, break an arm, break your neck, take pieces of your body.
It came down to this. Which would pop first? Phil or the tire? The tire and steel rim exploded simultaneously, launching heavy shrapnel into Phil's forehead from less than a yard away.
Just the blunt force of a large piece of tire hitting him in the head could cause a contusion that's strong enough to cause a traumatic brain injury. He had actually pieces that went through his skull, lodged in his skull, and damaged his brain directly, which in and of itself can cause neurogenic shock, which can cause someone to die as well.
You know what they say, porno is bad for you. It'll rot your brain.
I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna have a glass of wine.
Remember when doctors made house calls? Neither do we.
Never had anything like this done before. Okay.
The only reason Debbie got this guy to drop by was, one, he's not really a doctor, and two, she was desperate.
It's a big needle.
Her problem? Wrinkles.
Perfection.
Dr. Quack here had the cure. Botox.
Botox is actually botulinum toxin that causes paralysis. What they do is they inject this toxin into certain areas of your face or wherever you want it to be to get rid of wrinkles. And the way that it does that is it paralyzes that muscle. That muscle can no longer contract and the wrinkle is gone.
The fake physician made a good living off insecure 40-somethings dispensing black market Botox injections.
Don't move.
It wasn't brain surgery, and they always paid cash. Debbie didn't know it, but she just signed her death certificate.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you.
The pretend doctor had gotten his hands on a really bad batch of Botox. He just pumped pure botulism poison right into her head.
This does not feel right.
The pain and numbness started spreading from her head throughout her body. Debbie thought a dip in the hot tub might calm her down.
If you do not go to someone that knows what they're doing and this toxin gets somewhere it should not get to, the nerve, for example, your face becomes paralyzed and you look like you've had a stroke. If it gets into your arteries or into your veins, that toxin is now circulating in your body and getting into your lungs, into your heart, because it can cause paralysis there. So essentially you stop breathing, your heart stops beating, and you end up dead from Botox.
Debbie was helpless. Her body was completely paralyzed by the spreading toxin. In a frozen panic, she slipped under the water's surface and drowned. At her funeral, her friends all said she never looked better. Up next, two morons go cuckoo for cocoa and wind up in the sweet hereafter. And when this MD says bend over, he's talking to his nurse.
I'm ready for my own examination.
Is that right?
If ignorance is bliss, then Carl and Lenny here are ready for nirvana. The best way to describe them? Happy-go-lucky nitwits. The half a brain they shared was the right amount for their job as minimum wage kitchen apes. If you're this stupid, it's like being in the carpool lane on the death highway. Carl and Lenny are making good time. A couple of sacks of cocoa powder and the race is on. The two idiots pound and pelt each other with wild abandon. If Carl and Lenny were a little less stupid, they might have stopped once they realized they were gradually suffocating from the cocoa-charged atmosphere. That their lungs had something called alveoli, tiny air sacs, and that they were filling up with the fine powder, making breathing impossible. If they were just slightly less stupid, they might have realized they weren't having fun. They were dying.
So this is another one of those beautiful classic examples of social Darwinism. If you just happen to have the right lack of common sense and the right combination of genes, you might actually end up in a situation where it's death by chocolate.
Carl and Lenny. Stupid is as stupid dies. What is it about hospitals? Don't you get the feeling as soon as you walk in, someone somewhere is having sex?
Well, what are we going to be examining today?
All this.
That's because it's true. Take Dr. Montano here.
Do we have an increased Heart rate? Yeah.
He and his bombshell nurse go at it all day long, interrupted every now and then by an annoying patient.
Not the first time.
Just turn your head towards me.
This way?
Mr. O'Brien is here for a brain x-ray.
Okay, is this gonna hurt?
Not at all. It's just gonna take a moment. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, sure.
But even that hardly slows down our oversexed healthcare professionals.
What the? Can you guys see me? Huh.
As peep shows go, this was a good one.
Well, this certainly looks like a fun place to work. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Mr. O'Brien was getting turned on.
Oh, yeah. Go, pick her up, pick her up. Spin around, baby. All righty.
The problem was, so was the x-ray machine. Nurse Bombshell's magnificent rear end was accidentally rear-ending the on button. Constant bombardment by x-rays is a bad thing to do to someone's brain. Very bad. For the next 20 minutes, Mr. O'Brien's brain is like an egg in a diner. Fried.
If somebody's exposed to constant radiation for 20 to 30 minutes, if you extrapolate that to a lifetime dose, that would be 2 lifetimes worth of radiation, which would be well into the radiation levels experienced by people exposed to radiation at Hiroshima.
Dr. Montano and his nurse have no idea they're cooking a patient. Until it's too late.
Oh my gosh. I think we gotta get some help. We gotta go.
Our advice, stay out of hospitals. Unless you're horny. Coming up, a stock car race goes to hell for the drivers. Stock car racer Mike Easley was just 2 laps into a 150-lap event when a racer's worst nightmare took place. Impact and fire.
I see smoke up ahead of me. I got on the brakes, and my spotter, which was my wife and my daughter, both said wreck turn 1.
Traveling at close to 100 miles per hour, the 2 cars in front of Mike collided, puncturing gas tanks and spraying fuel everywhere. In a few short seconds, Mike is engulfed in flames. The track crew responds, but only with handheld fire extinguishers, which are not enough against the growing wall of fire. While the horrified crowd looks on, racer Mike Easley emerges from the fiery hell a human fireball. The emergency worker empties out his fire extinguisher, but Mike continues to burn. Mike tries rolling on the ground to put out the flames, but winds up dousing himself in more high-octane racing fuel.
I couldn't believe that nobody had put me out. But I opened my eyes, I looked around, and people were still running from me. I took a breath, dropped to my knees, and basically kissed her goodbye.
At this point, Mike's been on fire for 45 long seconds. His fire suit is designed to handle only 20. The crew returns with a second round of fire extinguishers. After a minute and a half, 90 scorching seconds of being covered head to toe in flames, Mike's fire is finally extinguished. To the astonishment of everyone, Mike is still alive. Mike had third-degree burns over 45% of his body. He was alive, but he wasn't done with death just yet.
I died twice. in the ambulance going to Madigan Hospital. I died one more time at Harborview. I was given the paddles 3 times. My heart stopped.
Not many people get to die 3 times and then live to talk about it.
It's my philosophy on life that dying is easy, living's the hard part.
You lay down, you're dead. God's sake.
It's original.